moment when these new immigrants step onto the tarmac here at Ben Gurion Airport as the time when the words of the Bible written thousands of years ago come to life.
The moment these Jewish immigrants step onto Israeli soil, something incredible happens. A prophecy written thousands of years ago is now unfolding before our very eyes. How close are we to the final days? This isn't just about politics, it's the fulfillment of Ezekiel's prophecy. The return to Israel has begun, and what happens next will shake you. Imagine a time long ago, over 2,700 years ago to be precise. The prophet Ezekiel stood in the land of Israel, witnessing the desolation of his people. Israel had been scattered, crushed under the weight of invaders, and the people were in exile. But in the midst of their destruction, Ezekiel had a vision, one that would change the course of history forever. He saw a valley filled with dry bones, and in his vision, those bones began to stir. They came together, forming entire bodies, and as the breath of life filled them, the once dead stood alive again. This was no ordinary vision. Ezekiel was witnessing what we now know as the prophecy of Israel's return, a promise that one day the scattered people of Israel would be brought back to their homeland, and the nation would be restored. But how do these ancient words come alive in the world today? Stay tuned, because what's happening right now might just be the answer to that question.
Before we continue, don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more awe-inspiring stories of faith, survival, and miracles.
In 1948, something incredible happened. After nearly 2,000 years of exile, the state of Israel was reborn. The Jewish people, scattered across the world, suddenly had a homeland once more. This was not just a political victory, it was the first real step in the fulfillment of Ezekiel's prophecy. The land of Israel, once desolate and empty, began to flourish again, almost as if the bones of the ancient prophecy were indeed coming to life. Since then, the return has continued. Hundreds of thousands of Jews have made Aliyah, or the return to Israel, from countries all around the globe. From Ethiopia to Russia, from the United States to Yemen, the Jewish people are coming home. But how much of Ezekiel's prophecy has been realized? And what's to come next? The truly remarkable part of this story is that the return is still ongoing, and the most surprising parts may be yet to unfold. One of the most fascinating stories within Ezekiel's prophecy is that of the lost tribes of Israel, particularly the tribe of Manasseh. Over 2,700 years ago, the Assyrians scattered the 10 northern tribes of Israel, and for centuries, their descendants were thought to be lost to history. Yet, incredibly, the tribe of Manasseh was rediscovered in the Indian subcontinent, in the region of Mizoram. These Jews, known as B'nai Menashe, had kept their ancient customs alive for centuries. They lived in complete isolation, practicing Jewish traditions without even knowing the full history of their ancestors. Over the past decades, thousands of them have returned to Israel, closing a 2,700-year-old cycle. This isn't just a coincidence. It's a clear sign that Ezekiel's prophecy is coming to life. These are the dry bones of Ezekiel, coming together, being rejoined with their homeland.
Another incredible fulfillment of Ezekiel's prophecy is the story of the Ethiopian Jews, also known as the Falish Mura. For centuries, these Jews lived in isolation in the highlands of Ethiopia. Their Jewish identity and customs passed down through generations. Despite being surrounded by a world of different faiths and cultures, they kept their traditions alive: the Sabbath, the kosher laws, and circumcision. In 1991, the world witnessed a miraculous event, Operation Solomon, a covert mission that airlifted over 14,000 Ethiopian Jews to Israel in a single operation. Since then, over 75,000 Ethiopian Jews have made their way to Israel. Their return is not just a political or cultural movement, it's the fulfillment of prophecy, Ezekiel's dry bones rising again. But this story doesn't end there. More Ethiopians are still coming home as the prophecy continues to unfold. What other countries might see a return of their Jewish populations? In recent years, a new and unexpected chapter has been added to the story of Israel's return. France, home to one of the largest Jewish populations in Europe, has seen a massive surge in immigration to Israel, with over 6,000 new immigration files opened in 2021 alone, a 137% increase from previous years. This migration is driven not only by the allure of a homeland, but also by rising fears of anti-Semitism in France and across Europe. The Jewish community there is under increasing threat, and many are choosing to make Aliyah, seeking safety and security in Israel. This wave of immigration isn't just a political shift, it's a prophetic movement. Ezekiel spoke of a time when the Jewish people would be gathered from all corners of the earth, and France is another vital piece of the puzzle. In Ukraine, a different crisis has spurred a new wave of Aliyah. Amidst the ongoing war and unrest, over 130,000 Ukrainian Jews have made their way to Israel, fleeing not just war, but increasing instability and anti-Semitic sentiment. As the conflict continues to escalate, more Jewish families are seeking refuge in the Holy Land. Once again, Ezekiel's prophecy is at the heart of this migration. Jews are being brought back from the east, just as the prophets foretold. From the ashes of war and destruction, Israel is emerging as a beacon of hope and security, fulfilling promises made thousands of years ago. This recent movement is not an isolated event. It's another chapter in the divine gathering of God's people. With each new flight, Israel becomes the home of more and more Jews, aligning the world with the ancient prophetic words.
The return of Jews to Israel isn't limited to a few specific countries. In fact, it's a global movement, with Jews making Aliyah from Latin America, Africa, Asia, and North America. From the streets of Buenos Aires to the villages of Ethiopia, the call to return to Israel is being heard louder than ever before. The rise of global anti-Semitism, the collapse of other governments, and increasing persecution in some countries are forcing Jews to leave everything behind for the safety and promise of Israel. The prophecy of Ezekiel 36:24, "I will take you from the nations and bring you into your own land," is being fulfilled before our eyes, from the four corners of the earth. This massive migration isn't just a political act, it's the fulfillment of an ancient promise, one that is unfolding now, in our time. The story is still in motion, and the end may be closer than we think. One of the most significant prophetic events related to the return of Israel is the rebuilding of Jerusalem. In 1967, during the Six-Day War, Israel recaptured Jerusalem, which had been under foreign rule for centuries. This moment is seen by many as the fulfillment of prophecy. Jerusalem, once desolate, was now under Israeli control. Zechariah 12:3 states, "Jerusalem will become a cup of trembling." Today, Jerusalem stands at the center of the global stage, its significance growing every year as Jews from around the world continue to return. The city's restoration is more than a political event. It's part of God's divine plan, as outlined by the prophets. With each new year, Jerusalem grows in significance, not just to the Jewish people, but to the world. As the Jewish people rebuild their nation, Jerusalem's role in biblical prophecy is unfolding rapidly. The return of the Jewish people is not just about the physical land of Israel, but also about the spiritual restoration of the nation. According to Ezekiel, there will be a time when the 12 tribes of Israel will be reunited, no longer divided. In recent years, the discovery of new Jewish communities around the world, including those in India, China, and South America, may be signs that the ancient tribes are indeed returning. The B'nai Moshe, the Ethiopian Jews, and others are fulfilling prophecies of the reunion of Israel. The rebuilding of the temple,
the gathering of all the tribes, and the final restoration of Israel are all in motion. The coming together of these lost tribes is a powerful sign that the final stage of Ezekiel's prophecy is near.
As we watch the unfolding story of Israel's return, it's clear that we're living in a prophetic moment. The dry bones of Ezekiel are not just a metaphor, they are coming to life in a real, tangible way. Every flight of Jewish immigrants, every tribe that returns, and every piece of land that is restored is a step closer to the fulfillment of the ultimate prophecy. But the question remains, what's next? If we are truly seeing Ezekiel's vision come alive, how much closer are we to the final fulfillment, the return of Christ? The signs are unmistakable. Israel is being restored. The tribes are returning. The world is watching. This is not just the story of a nation coming home. It's a sign that something much bigger is on the horizon, something prophetic, something world-changing.